After missing out on a Damian Lillard trade, the Toronto Raptors could have their eyes on another star point guard. So, should they continue to push for a major move? Let's get into it. For Toronto Raptors news, analysis, and breakdowns, make sure you're subscribed to Amateur Hour Sports and help me on my road to 16,000 subscribers. Drop a like as well if you're enjoying this one along the way. But in the wake of the news that Damian Lillard is joining the Milwaukee Bucks, a new star point guard has entered into the trade block here in Jrue Holiday. The Portland Trail Blazers completed that Damian Lillard trade by sending him to the Milwaukee Bucks. Obviously, the Phoenix Suns were also involved, but the prized piece that they received in that trade was Jrue Holiday. They preferred Jrue Holiday for some reason over Tyler Hero, and initially I thought, like, okay, the Jrue Holiday package, a bit of a better package than what they could have gotten from the Miami Heat, but as the new details arose of the situation where they were going to be receiving Tyler Hero and 3 first-round picks for Damian Lillard, it kind of got to the point where it seemed like it was personal. Portland just did not want to do business with the Miami Heat anymore, so they decided to end up with Jrue Holiday, and obviously not needing a point guard with Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, and Anthony Simons already on the team. They are going to be looking to flip the player and get a really good return. I think they are capable of getting a great return out of this situation and making up for the fact that they did not get the Miami Heat's package. So, what are the teams that are going to be interested in acquiring the recent all-star point guard, the recent all-defensive caliber point guard? Jrue Holiday is a fantastic player offensively, an efficient, surgical point guard who displays his best stuff on the defensive end of the court. His point of attack defense is excellent, and the three-headed monster of any outstanding NBA defense is, well, it's the rim protection, it's the help defender, and it is the point of attack defense. So naturally, contending teams like the Boston Celtics, contending teams like the Los Angeles Clippers are going to be heavily involved in trying to get the player. But could the Toronto Raptors also insert themselves into this situation and try to replace Fred VanVleet by getting Jrue Holiday on their team? I mean, the Raptors consistently have gone with a defense-first approach. Maybe that's going to change with a brand new head coach in Darko Rajakovic, but we know how talented Jrue Holiday is. He would slot directly into the starting lineup for the team. But is it really enough? Is it really a good enough player to sacrifice yet another key piece in the team like OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, or Scotty Barnes? Because that's the reality. When it comes to making a trade for a player of this caliber, that's just what it's going to have to cost in this situation. Portland are going to try to get great value here, and they're going to have enough leverage with other teams trying to make something happen in this situation. So the Boston Celtics can offer a ton of draft capital to make this deal happen, along with salary filler like Malcolm Brogdon. I'm not sure if Malcolm Brogdon gets it done. Perhaps it's going to have to cost them Derek White if they want to get Jrue Holiday. But you can also go to the Los Angeles Clippers, where some key players may have to become involved for there to be any chance of this deal going down. Because for the Raptors in this situation, yes, the player on court makes a bit of sense for the team, but is it going to make sense for what we are going to have to lose? For the Raptors to actually make this trade, it's likely going to have to cost one of those 3 key players along with the 2 draft picks. And for Damian Lillard, that trade made a whole lot of sense, especially when you look at OG Anunoby being involved. OG is on an expiring contract. I believe that he is not going to stay with the team beyond the season. I think he's going to test free agency, where it's going to be extremely difficult for the Raptors to pull a deal together that gets OG to re-sign in Toronto. So it made sense for me to move OG Anunoby and the picks to get an outstanding upgrade of talent for your team. Damian Lillard as a half-court offensive player, like legitimately Damian Lillard on his own could take a team that is not so great in the half-court, which the Raptors were not so great in the half-court on offense last season, and make them an exceptional half-court team just on his own, from his ability to score, his ability to create for others, the range that he provides, like all these great qualities Damian Lillard will bring to the team. But all of those qualities also can fit with a player like Pascal Siakam. Like the fit with Dame and Siakam made so much sense to me that the upgrade and having to sacrifice OG Anunoby and those draft picks just made so much sense to me. But in this situation, as much as Jrue Holiday is a good shooter, not quite as good as a pull-up shooter as Dame. I mean, Dame is maybe top 2 or 3 in the NBA in that regard, but great shooter in Jrue Holiday, great facilitator, great offensive player. We know about the defensive capabilities, but ultimately, Jrue Holiday doesn't vault us to the status that Damian Lillard did. Now, I've said that I want action. I said that I want the front office to make a change here. I've said that I believe this team is stuck in the middle, stuck kind of doing nothing with the season ahead, with the team in its way that is currently constructed. But I've also been adamant that it's not just about making a deal for the sake of making a deal. And I think in this situation, because a lot of the fan base is kind of clamoring for action, we're kind of frustrated with how the Dame situation went. We want to see something, but I don't know if this is exactly what we want to see. Don't let the frustration of what's going on in the team blind you into making a poor decision. I thought the Dame situation was a great decision to go with. Trade OG Anunoby. And now there's going to be pushback. Not everybody's going to agree with that situation. Maybe there's people who think that going for Dame was a mistake, but going for Jrue Holiday is the right way. Maybe there's people that think that going for Dame is a good decision and Jrue Holiday is a bad decision. And that's where I kind of fit in here, because I think a key player is going to have to go and some key draft assets are going to have to go. But this isn't a trade that puts you into that contender status, especially in an Eastern Conference that all of a sudden isn't nearly as open as it was 2 days ago. I've been saying that it's a weak Eastern Conference. Like the top two teams, and I think there's a gap in between the top two and then whoever is in third, fourth, fifth. The top two are Boston, Milwaukee. Boston still have that variance. How is Porzingis going to look in a Celtics uniform? How is that going to gel with the rest of the team? We don't know. There's question marks there. Milwaukee, a team that did not improve, a team that is getting older, that deals with injuries. Is Middleton going to be the same? Is Lopez going to continue to perform? Is Giannis happy there? Well, all of that's been sorted. Damian Lillard has arrived and is going to make that team the surefire best team in the Eastern Conference on paper. So the East is now not nearly as open as it was, nor is Jrue Holiday at the level of a player like Damian Lillard who can completely change this team. I think that Jrue Holiday 100%, I mean, come on, 100% that player improves the team going into this season, but Jrue Holiday doesn't get us to that contention status that Damian Lillard would have brought us to. If Jrue Holiday arrives, yeah, this is a playoff team. Yeah, this is, I believe, a top 6 team in the Eastern Conference if you move even like Gary Trent Jr. and picks to make this happen. But that's a big sacrifice of future assets for a team that isn't a contender and for a player in Jrue Holiday who is also on a 1-year deal. We have to deal with OG's contract. We have to deal with Siakam's contract. Both of those are expiring. Gary Trent Jr.'s contract, currently an expiring contract, and a Scottie Barnes extension is due. A rookie extension is due at the end of the season. Yeah, we might trade one of those players to bring in Holiday, but it's just another contract headache. It doesn't solve any of the contract situations, and it doesn't improve us enough to justify losing those future assets. For the Raptors, is there a possibility of making a Jrue Holiday trade? The only one that would even marginally make sense is if it's Gary Trent, 2 picks and salary filler. Even then, I'm hesitant, and even then, I don't believe the Portland Trailers would take that, and I believe they can get a better offer somewhere else. So, are the Raptors kind of looking into this? 100% Masai Ujiri is going to be making some calls and seeing if he can get a good deal. But ultimately, Raptors are going to get outbid, and this trade doesn't make sense, and maybe getting outbid is for the best. But what do you make of the Jrue Holiday situation? Do you think the Raptors should push for a trade? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, because that is it for me for today. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to Amateur Sports for more Raptors content like this, and I'll see you again very soon for another video.